guys. So I wanted to share because I've been getting these insights lately about manic depression, and I thought maybe this could be useful for people that are struggling with manic depression or just mania and just depression. I mean, bipolar is like the swinging between the both, right? But what I wanted to talk about, because I struggle with both, but I'm not like technically diagnosed as bipolar, but I definitely struggle with both of these areas. So, what helps is to understand that the feeling of mania and the feeling of depression, they make a lot of sense when you look at what has occurred in the human genome. Excuse me. When you look at the damage that was done to our divine blueprint, and you look at our souls having to contend with being in a body where our souls know there is so much more possible, and yet we are trapped in a limited vessel which has a hard time expressing. I hope my sound has been loud enough. I have it now close to my mouth. So just to review, we're talking about the tendency toward mania, toward manic episodes, and also towards depressive episodes, and how those are very natural when you consider what our human genome has been through. So you could liken our human DNA in its divine blueprint to a festival of interaction. Imagine a beautiful music and art festival where people are singing, people are dancing, your beloveds, your best friends are all around you. And there's so much satisfying, loving interaction and communion is occurring all around you. So just kind of let's take a moment and just feel the vibration of what that would feel like. It's probably a spring or a summer day. Nature is all around. You can hear the birds interacting in the trees. You can feel squirrels, maybe bunny rabbits. Maybe there's a stream where the water is flowing. Anything that you could picture in this magical place. And then you have the humans. And the humans are interacting with the devic spirits and all the nature elements and the animals. There seems to be a song of life that's being exchanged and shared with mutual giving and receiving of love, appreciation, and recognition. As if the earth is singing your name as you walk by. And many others in the festival are singing your name and running to you from across the field with joyful recognition that they love you. And then they jump into your arms and hug you. And then the two of you are off to the next dance. And then it happens with the next person and the next. Now, this is what our DNA was like when the divine blueprint was intact. We had an interactive dance between all the aspects of self that spanned a multidimensional, fully multidimensional DNA. Our original strands encompassing 12 dimensions. So just imagine that festival, that feasting, that joy, that beauty, that wonder. And that's home. That's home to beings who come from worlds where our divine blueprint was intact. Now let's come into a fallen system of planet Earth in the third dimension. The DNA has been split apart from itself. There is a full body condom between lover and beloved. There is a sense of isolation, separation, survival fear, sorrow. In the embodiment, there is a sense of being alone in a bombed building where nothing is alive except for you, the consciousness. The consciousness sits in this bombed ruins. And it's a consciousness that knows the experience of that festival I described. Now, just ask you a question. What would you feel? How would you feel if that's what happened? If you were totally expecting a beautiful festival and you got a decimated, bombed, empty, damaged, isolated place. So that's depression. I mean, really, depression is responding to the lack of interaction, the lack of stimulation. We are social animals. We live to interact. And if we're not interacting with our world around us, we feel these beautiful spawning interactions in our inner world when the divine blueprint is intact. Light is spawning and dancing, and we feel this activity. Okay, so that kind of helps us understand despair and depression. Now let's look at the manic aspect. So, the mind has the ability to mimic these states of the festival. If you have the thought forms that excite the mind and wrap it around the memory of this frequency, the mind can generate a simulation of embodied joy. But it's not embodied joy, it's a simulation. The mind can twist itself away from presence and create a holodeck of fake happiness. Now, it feels very real because it mimics the frequency. It mimics, it's a vibration that, think about it, it tastes. To the soul, it tastes a lot like home, like that great embodied festival. But the kicker is that it's not home. It's a false home. It is a spinning of false light. And under that false light, there's tremendous pain. So when we think about a state of mania, it feels really good. The mind, if it with a drug like methamphetamine or cocaine, right? I've never taken those drugs, but I hear that they put you into a real manic state. And you're getting tons of dopamine, and I mean the chemicals that are getting induced from a drug-induced mania or a thought-induced mania are chemicals that cause a euphoric high. But the trouble is that underneath this euphoric high, there is a body that's in pain, right? You're existing out of the body in this euphoric high. You're not in the body. And the only stable states are the states that happen inside the embodiment. So what do we do? What do we do when the mind is racing? Another way to see the manic episode is like a hot stove. You hit upon a place of deep pain in the self. And naturally, you don't want to feel that pain. So you leap up from the hot stove, right? You're like, no, that burns me. That pain hurts. So you jump. You jump to get away from the pain, and you start spinning these compensatory thought forms of pleasure, which again are escape. They're escaping from the hot stove. This is the dynamic of mania, of the manic episode. It is the escape, the attempt to escape the pain of the embodiment. And so rising fast on a rocket ship of rejection of that pain, the mind launches into a compensatory, right? It's compensating for the pain, compensatory concepts of joy, right? It's kind of like a little kid that is feeling anguish and pain, but they start jumping around singing happy songs. I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy, joy, joy, joy. But that happiness is fueled by pain. So another, in Clarissa Pinkola Estes's story of women who run with the wolves, in that beautiful book, she has a story called The Red Shoes. Once the child puts those red shoes on, and the red shoes are given to her by a very out of balance stepmother. They don't come from a balanced person. But once she puts those red shoes on, she can't stop dancing. The shoes control the dance, and she dances to her death. So this is what mania is like, right? It's like it does not want to stop dancing because it is a matter of life and death to escape the pain. So the mind has a mind of its own, right? It's on a segregated train track. You're stepping onto a train that's going to go from 0 to 100 miles an hour in 3 seconds. I mean, with a really severe case of bipolar, that's kind of what happens. So let's talk about the antidote now. Let's talk about how do we deal when the mind goes into a manic tendency. Now, if you don't have severe, diagnosed manic depression, but you just have manic tendencies, this will really work for you. If you have a more severe case of bipolarism, it might be a much more involved process. But I'm going to show you a simple technique. And I have to put my mic down, so I hope you can still hear me. I might take this out and do it without the microphone. Sometimes that's louder. Okay, so hello to whoever's watching. We're talking about manic depression. We're talking about how we treat the state of mania or the tendency toward a manic episode. So this is going to involve the body. We need to get back into the body. Now, when you get manic, you're out of the body. So you need to get back into the body. That's where the pain is. That's where the hot stove is that you're jumping to get away from. So you got to come back to the hot stove. You got to go through the portal back into the body and get out of the runaway mind. And this can be very difficult. And there can be tremendous sadness as you're starting to enter the body, to re-enter the body again. But your kidney points are going to help you. So if you're a woman or even a man, imagine your tank top, and you have a tank top that goes, where is it? Your clavicle is right about here. So you're about 2 inches below your clavicle, okay, on either side. And it's going to vary where your pain spots are. But this is L27, and this is where the kidneys come the closest to the surface, right? The kidney meridian is very close to the surface, right here in these points. Mine are a little tender, not too bad. Oh, wait, yeah, mine are pretty tender right now. So what's going to happen is if you're out of your body, when you press these points, it's going to hurt a lot. So that's when you just need to breathe. In fact, let's just take some deep breaths, massaging the places that hurt. Now, you don't want to cause yourself pain here, but you do want to find the places that hurt, okay? So here we go. Just breathe. Find your places and massage. Just be willing to feel all the pain, all the emptiness, whatever comes up of being in this body, right? Being in this body. We've lost a lot of our DNA interaction, and it can feel very lonely and sad in here, especially to star seeds that carry the unity, the memory of unity, whose job it is to remember the entire broken field, like me. If you're like me, that's your job. Your job is to be in the emptiness and feel it until the DNA starts to come back together. And so there's such a temptation to run into the mind where there's more interaction. It appears there's more life there. But that's not our job. We have to go into the body where it feels empty and feels very sad to us. We just have to go there. And we have to be there with our love and occupy the emptiness and cry the tears and feel the fears. Because as we do that, the DNA will be able to return to its proper configuration, and the festival of light that we once were will start to rebuild itself. Now, the human body in its divine blueprint has 64 circuits of living light. Just imagine, 64 circuits. That's the festival. That's the music and art festival that I spoke of at the beginning of this video. 64 circuits. The average human has like 4 connected. So that's 60 circuits that are laying broken on the floor. Now, those of us that are matrix holders for the repair of all those circuits are going to feel like we're laying on a broken, abandoned, incredibly painful place. Now, why don't most people in the human race experience this? Because it's not their job, right? They don't have the ability to remember that field. Those of us that feel the greatest pain are the beings from the unity worlds, the Christed blueprint holders that came to this earth to mend the great divorce so that we could assist this planet and the mass consciousness to step onto the bridge that is built in our bodies. So we are the bridge builders. And I am hot. So I want to take off this sweatshirt here. So those of us that we are bridge builders, we have to lay on the broken bridge. And it hurts. There's no way to say it any other way. It hurts. I've been laying on the broken bridge for 37 years. The good news is we are on the cusp of so much circuitry coming online. We are remembering the light body. All the work that we've done is coming into a fruition. We're in an amazing, exciting time on this planet. With our December eclipse on December 14th, huge beginning of the die-off of all the forces that have inhibited the DNA from uniting with itself. So it's going to be a lot easier to rebuild light body after December 21st, when we're in the height of the parasitic die-off, we're going to be starting to have traction to build the body of Christ on earth. And those of us who've been carrying this matrix are going to have a lot easier time as the interaction in the DNA starts coming back online. It's going to feel a lot less lonely in the body, a lot less sad. We're going to start to feel some of the festival that we seek by running into our minds. We're going to start feeling that festival birthing in the body. So just sending so much love. It is so difficult to be in the body when you are a unity world bridger. So I just want to extend tremendous compassion to those of you that are unity world bridgers that would rather be in their minds than in their bodies. And I know because I am one. And we are starting a beautiful community online called Waking Up Together, where we're going to take each other through these changes. We're going to go through these changes together. As we come online as world bridgers, we're going to see so much blossoming so fast. And it'll be great to be together with one another. I also have a self-love class that's starting November 15th. And that's an 8-week journey. So if any of what I'm saying calls to you, please join me. I am an ambassador from Divine Mother, here to help the world bridgers navigate these places of despair, to bring the inner child the hope, to help the cognitive understand why it has been so long without any ability to manifest, and to help the divine feminine to unite the cognitive and the inner child, bringing together the 48 stranded imprint of DNA that we carry as world bridgers. So just taking a deep breath, having tremendous compassion for yourself. And I want to show you the last part of this link. So you've got the kidneys here, right? We were rubbing those kidney points. And this is actually a body talk technique called switching. And you're rubbing those. And so take one hand, see if you can spread out your fingers and get both hands on the kidney points, the ones that are painful for you. Then I want you to take both hands, a finger from each hand, and put it in the middle of your eyelid. Now be gentle, right? Really gentle on those eyelids. And this is the link from the kidney to the brain. Kidney points are down here on your clavicle. Brain points are right here on your eye. And then if you have a partner, you can have them tap your head. Okay? And then tap your heart. They can tap your heart in the back as well. If you don't have a partner, you can take turns. You can go like this, kidney to brain right here. And then just ask your guides or your angels, or imagine that your hand is holding the brain point while you tap. Okay? Tapping about 10 times on your head, 10 times on your heart, taking deep breaths. And then you can go ahead and just do your brain point. Pretend like someone's doing your kidney point. Someone's on my kidneys, and then tap. Yeah, just like that. Just feel if that doesn't balance you a little bit, and just help you to feel better. So this is how I deal when I'm in a more manic tendency, coming into the gateway to the body, which is the kidney point. I'm just reviewing here. And usually that's going to bring up a lot of pain. That's going to bring up a lot of sadness. You know, kidneys really, they're the water element. They hold the sadness and the fear. Lots of fear is held in the kidneys, right? Those of us who are unity world bridgers go through tremendous fear because we're used to worlds where there's only love. And so we come to this planet where this fear is here, and we're trying to get through the body because we're unity beings. So we're trying to penetrate these veils, these very, very strong, dark fear veils to get into this body. So the kidneys are really going to help us. They're going to bring up the fears. They're going to bring up the sadness, and they're going to help us get in. The brain is going to link, excuse me, the brain is going to bring our cognitive mind, our left cerebral cortex, down through the brain stem, down through the hindbrain, the midbrain. It's going to take us out of this modern cerebral cortex, which is where the mania gets generated, right? It's here. It's going to take us back through the hindbrain, into the pineal, pituitary, down into the heart. So the brain needs to come down into the heart via the kidneys. And that's what we're doing. We're literally bringing ourselves back into the body. Okay? So the song that keeps coming to me lately is, I will be gentle with myself. I will love myself. I am a child of the universe, being born each moment. I am love. And you'll notice that the throat, right now, my throat is getting a little bit congested and blocked. The throat is all about self-expression. And as unity beings that are trying to come into a body, we feel this really difficult time with self-expression. So the throat will sometimes get sore. We'll have a lot of drainage coming down from the sinuses. We'll have symptoms that might feel like COVID-19 or the flu. And this is that throat. This is the healing of not having a voice. Because the divine solar feminine has not had a voice on this planet. We've had an invaded matrix locking the divine solar feminine out of consciousness. And if you are a unity world bridger, you came to bring back the solar feminine, whether you're in a masculine body or a feminine body. Most of us are in feminine bodies, I'm finding. But there are men who are doing this work. But that's just, don't be surprised if your throat has trouble singing, your throat has trouble speaking, because we've been mute in this world. So I'm going to sing that again and see if my throat can let that out. You're welcome to sing with me. I think this is a song from Sophia, the singer Sophia. And of course, the Sophianic matrix is the unity matrix. So it's a beautiful, beautiful song. I will be gentle with myself. I will love myself. I am a child of the universe, being born each moment. I am love. I am love. I am love. I am love. So beloveds, just really know that this is a very, very lonely time as we come into this body on the edge of blooming itself into the blossoming field that we know as home. We come to what feels very desolate, but I want to tell you that very soon this place that has felt so desolate is going to start to blossom, and it's going to take off in a critical mass blossoming until it returns to this planet of light. We're doing this in our bodies, and our planet is doing this as well. The Unity World Bridgers are on the exact timeline with the Earth's blossoming. It's a sacred role to be in this place. And I am here for you as we come online again. Stay connected. Join our spiritual community at patreon.com/waking up together, where we'll have many offerings. We'll have a community. We'll have weekly live events, all the support to get through these times of the Earth's major awakening. And we're also going to have our self-love class that starts November 15th, which is all about the restoration of the divine blueprint as we take it from a place of desolation to a place of shine and glory. And I'm here for you on this journey to bring it to you step by step and to share it with you every step of the way. So much love from my inner child who's feeling this desolation, this pain, this sorrow, and this mind that wants to stay in the cognitive all the time because it's more exciting and it feels like a higher vibration. Both of these parts of myself join in solidarity with you. We can come into embodiment. We can come into balance, and we will. And we are doing it together. We are a rare breed, those of us that carry this prescription of remembering the whole field. We are rare on the planet. There aren't very many of us. But when we come together, we give each other tremendous strength. We are not meant to go through this alone. All right. I don't know who's here with me, but I think someone's here with me. If you're here with me, comment. And of course, you can find me on Facebook at Sarah Adams Healing. And find the community on Patreon. We're just starting, so you'd probably be the first member to join if you join. And I guess I will sign off. Happy October 12th. And to, October 17th to the 22nd, the Planetary reboot begins. And this is really going to affect us. Go to eraofpeace.org. I'll put the link. And this is a free program. Every day we gather for 2 hours. And we're doing this big planetary reboot. And especially if you are a Unity World Bridger, your contribution will be so blessed to this great effort to birth our planet of light, to birth our planet that has been in darkness for so long back into its divine blueprint as light over these next 10, 15, 17 years. But right now, this reboot, very important. Okay, I think I will say goodbye. Thank you for joining me. And I'm just looking at the camera now. I've been looking at myself instead of the camera. Much love, and know you are not alone. And this is a sacred and powerful journey. And I thank you for being the courageous soul that you are, that would understand what I'm saying in this video. Because if this video speaks to you, you are very special. And you have endured a lot of pain. But you're in for an incredible blossoming. And every step that you take heals the entire planet and all humanity. Okay, Sarah Adams signing off. Bye for now, and much love.